Good evening, Phillies fans, and welcome back to the Fighting's Final, a Philadelphia Philly postgame show here on the It's O Rap Sports Network. Which boy, Matty B on the call. Happy Memorial Day. I hope everyone's holiday was great. I hope you enjoyed your long weekend. If that applied to you, if it didn't apply to you, then well, welcome back to the work week. Hey, Phillies, big win tonight, man. I'm flabbergasted, man. I'm surprised. I'm left speechless, and that's a lot to let Matty B speechless. Tonight, a Herculean pitching effort. That's four quality starting pitching efforts from this rotation. Here comes Aaron Nola coming down the chute. Let's hope we get a fifth one. But Jesus Luzardo tonight, that first inning where his defense, Trey Turner, goddamn, get Trey Turner a net to play shortstop. Maybe that's what he should do. Just a large butterfly net out there at the shortstop position. But Trey Turner, the defense, specifically Trey Turner, did not back Jesus Luzardo up in that first inning, but he came back powerful in that inning, striking out two, getting Castellanos to ground out, and he escapes that first inning, giving up no runs. I felt it then. I was like, well, we're going to get a good pitching effort tonight. Don't know about the offense, but we're going to get a good pitching effort, and we definitely got another one tonight. Luzardo on the night, real quick. He went six solid, 4 hits, two walks, and he struck out 6. Again, if you're keeping track at home, that's 4 quality starting pitching efforts in a row. Aaron Nola, you're up. So we'll see what Nola does tomorrow. But before we get to tomorrow, let's finish up tonight. Offensively, the beat goes on for this team with the home runs and the lack of offense that doesn't revolve around the home run, and the H word, as we say here on the Final Word. We don't say home runs anymore. We say the H word because it's so frustrating, and it's hard. And I don't know if it's foolhardy of me. Am I sounding like a privileged snob by saying, "Oh man, we won"? But I'm really having heartburn with the fact that we cannot score runs other than through the home run. This, again, I'm happy they won. In a game, that all the odds were stacked upon against them. Coming off of a really frustrating series against the Guardians, hopping on an airplane, flying across the country, and then showing up on a baseball field somewhere in San Diego, afternoon San Diego time, and then coming out and getting the win. It was a tough task today, and I got to give him a lot of credit for that accomplishing that task. But I am really have reached a point. I don't want to talk about home runs, man. I hate this offense. I literally hate the Philadelphia Philly offense. I can't stand it. It is the most frustrating, slap in the face of baseball offense I've ever seen in my entire life. And I don't know. Well, yeah, I do know. We all know how this is going to end. And that's what's the most frustrating about this, is that we already know the ending to this story. We already know there's an accident coming up down the road when it comes to living off of the home run. And I am going to be critical of their offense, even though they won, because of the fact that they just can't generate anything without the use of the home run. It wasn't a Rob Thompson thing. I never pretended that it was. It wasn't a Joe Girardi thing. I never pretended that it was. It's not a Don Mattingly thing. This team is so misconstructed. This team is so misassembled that we are literally living in a city with a baseball team that must hit home runs in order to win. It boggles my mind, but they got enough tonight. Schwarber, Marsh with the homers, and again, backed up by some solid starting pitching, get the win. So again, it's going to really sound like I'm going to sound like a snob tonight. I know it. I already know it. Yohan Duran the beast pitched. Yeah, was his 100th career save. Put the cherry on top of a fantastic pitching effort by all the pitchers that appeared today. Yep, his 100th. I disagree. I thought he was good. I thought he was great. Star Wars, do you not remember the first inning? Think back. This thing was de-evolving right out the gate. Phillies were what? They got the Schwarber home run in the first, and then they went out 3-8. Well, it was an out, home run, 2 outs, inning over. Then the Padres load the bases with nobody out. Nobody out. Thanks in large part to the defense of Trey Turner. Then he comes back with 2 strikeouts and a weak ground out by Nick Castellanos. That's not okay. That was amazing. The game was literally, and you know what? I'm going to put my hand up in the air. I thought the game was over in the first inning. I was like, oh, here we go. We got bases loaded, nobody out. Heart of the Padre order coming up. They managed 1 run, which was off the home run. I get it. It's the first inning. It's going to be 5-1 heading into the second inning. And not only did they not score any runs, he emphatically shut the door on the Padres in that inning. And the bases loaded situation was really not his fault. Friggin' Trey Turner with the error and then, the ground ball in that inning, the Tatis play. I've never seen a slower developing ground ball from a defensive standpoint before in all my life. It was like Turner was out there, hey, look at the ground ball. Let me just, let me take my time, and then I'm going to throw it wide anyway. I disagree with this statement 100%. Jesus Luzardo was everything as advertised tonight. And without that effort, once again, trying to nurse a 1-0 lead through most of this game, we don't win this game. That's 4 solid starting pitching efforts in a row. Atrocious Garcia is lost. Yeah, yeah. I don't have nothing to say about that, MP. I was watching something earlier today, starting to get the old trade deadline, machine, rumor mill kind of rolling a little bit and seeing who might be out there for a possible pickup. Harrison Bader hit 2 grand slams over the weekend for the Giants. Did you know that? Harrison Bader hit 2 grand slams for the Giants over the weekend. Not that I don't care. Bader's gone, but yeah, we got nothing out there in Garcia. It's bad. It's bad. It's bad. I am 100% correct. Say that loud and proud, MP. Not enough people understand that I am 100% correct in everything, right? I don't see that part in your comment, but I can read between your lines that Matty B is 100% correct in everything. 3 hits, 2 homers is not going to do it. Luzardo showed us a lot of guts tonight. 100%. 100%, man. We are lucky that the Padres' risk is as bad as ours. Yeah, but that was thanks. Matter of fact, risk in general, since Mattingly has taken over for opponents, I think he's down to like 207. The Phillies are holding their opponents to a paltry 207 batting average with runners in scoring position there, Al. Could Marsh be an all-star? Yeah. But what does that say about us? What does that say about the Phillies that Brandon Marsh could be our only all-star or an all-star? What does that say? What does that say? I know you hate homers, but Brian De La Cruz has 8 dingers in the minors. When the hell does he get called up? It's not the homer situation, right? I don't hate homers. I hate homers. All right. Let's not get that twisted, MP. I can't stand a homer. All right. But as far as the baseball play, I love home runs. But when you've become so goddamn dependent upon it, they are literally, because, back in the day, they used to always teach. Now, this is the way I was raised playing baseball. You don't go up to the plate looking to hit a home run. You go up to the plate trying to make contact with a ball, right? You know what I'm saying? And then home runs come from that, right? But nowadays, and I'm not blaming the Phillies for this, because this is something that started 25, 30 years ago. They're teaching these kids to hit home runs, to go up looking for a home run. I just hate a team that's so goddamn dependent, a one-trick pony on that it's literally home run or no offense. MP, wrap your head around that for a second, man. If this team doesn't hit home runs, we generally don't score any runs. That's like some sort of like other level baseball stuff. that I just will never. And you're not winning a World Series in that way. You're just not going to. Absolutely not. But as far as Brian De La Cruz, we spotlighted him on the Down on the Phillies farm segment yesterday. He was our AAA player of the week. I even said it. Listen, he's got to be the next man up. Former Major League Baseball experience. God, he's been all over the place. Why not at this point? But then that would imply you missed on another one, Dave. You missed on another one. And that's $10 million more worth of salary that we may have to be on the hook for this year. But it goes deeper than that, right? But Brian De La Cruz has most certainly deserved his opportunity to come up. And also, actually, no, he's an easy one because he signed a minor league contract. So I think he can be returned on that contract. So that I don't think he had to pass through waivers in order to get sent back down if that's the case. But no, you're right. 100%. I absolutely think it's his turn to come on, because right now we're getting nothing out of Garcia. The only thing keeping Garcia afloat is his defense, but we are not a glove away from a World Series championship. We're not. Yes, you do hate him. Yeah, I do. I only hate him in terms of in a loving way. In the most loving of ways, I hate them. Schwarber's leading home run. Yeah, who cares? Are you just trying to piss me off? If Marsh makes the All-Star team, it's more of an indictment on the overall state of the outfield position, MLB rosters, rather than the Phillies. He won't make it as a starter. I think he gets selected. I think they vote him in. I don't know about that. But I hear your point there, Elephant. But it is an indictment on the Phillies, for God's sakes. Absolutely an indictment on the Phillies. I hate Brandon Marsh. I can't stand him. Hate him from day one. With that said, Marsh deserves. He's been the most consistent bat in the Phillies lineup all season long. I 100% agree with you. He deserves it just as much as Alec Boehm deserved it that year. But you saw what happened with Boehm when he made the All-Star team, right? And it's never been the same since. So be careful what you wish for. Be careful for what you wish for. I'm okay with Schwarber hitting home runs because he's slow. That's actually not that slow. I don't think he's that slow. You know, again, don't get me wrong. I just want to be very clear. Obviously, there's home run hitters and there's home run hitters, right? It's okay if Kyle Schwarber hits 60 home runs a year. That's what he's here to do. It's okay if Bryce Harper hits 45 home runs a year. That's fine. But it's that trickle-down effect that it has on the other players. You got Bryson Stott standing up there swinging for the fences. You got Alec Boehm up there swinging. It's the negative effect it has on the other players that they feel now they got to go up and hit home runs. It's all about psychological. You know, it's in between the ears here. But it is concerning that this team cannot score runs without the help of the home run. And yeah, it's a 3-0 win, and it's great. Awesome. But I'm still going to rag on it until they figure out, because that's not going to get us a World Series. Because we've already seen how this is going to work in the postseason, if they even get there. We already know how this story is going to end this postseason if they can't figure out how to use all the goddamn fields. But with that being said, let's remind everybody here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, welcome to our Monday. Only show in town tonight is me. Tomorrow, you're going to have the Gridiron Weekly. The final word will not be back tomorrow. I made that decision already today. I will not be on the air tomorrow night. I do have to go out of town. There will be no time. I thought maybe I could sort of cram it in, but I'm not going to be able to. So there will be no final word tomorrow. I want to say that again. No final word tomorrow. And then for all you night owls, Big Al will be there with you for Phillies Padres at some point early on Wednesday morning. So make sure you're staying tuned. On Wednesday, once again, it'll be the postgame Phillies Padres, Mike Lauro on the call, and then the Pittsburgh Sports Desk. And then on Thursday, I will be back with the final word. Friday would be the Philly Friday Frenzy and the Fighters Final, and then the best of the week of the It's a Wrap Sports Network, along with Phillies Dodgers postgame, and then we do it all again on Sunday. Make sure you're staying tuned and keeping an eye out for the talent as we are entering the dog days of summer. So, all right, let's take a look here. My man Crawford was really struggling at the plate. Would you trade him, Gagewood, and whoever for Mike Trout? MP, you're late to the conversation on this one. The Mike Trout stuff. I don't know. Mike Trout can't play center field, though. Are you okay with Mike Trout roaming center field at Citizen Bank Park? And he can't DH because that's where Kyle. I don't know. If I woke up tomorrow, I'll leave it at this. If I woke up tomorrow and I saw that they did that, I wouldn't be that mad about it. But it would really be concerning because now we're once again dumping out the minor leagues for Mike Trout. I don't know, man. I'm not prepared to pay that price, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. That's a lot. Honestly. Justin Crawford's going to be fine. Man, you guys want these players to be Mickey Mantle right off the bat, man. Good God. Justin Crawford will be fine. I think part of Justin Crawford's problem is, again, this lineup that he's batting in front of. I really think that he is suffering because of this lineup and where he has to play in the lineup. I really would love to see what Justin Crawford would do leading off just for 10 days, 10 games. Just for 10 games, put him up top of the lineup. Let's just see what he does. So instead of benching him or sending him back to the minors, I would actually elevate him to the top of the lineup. But we can't do that because that, in facto, makes Kyle Schwarber slide down the lineup, and we can't have that. But there's a lot more going on with the Justin Crawford thing, I think, than just his struggles. I honestly believe he's sort of like, exiled to the 9-hole or 8-hole, wherever he's at right now. But I don't know. I'm not giving up on Justin Crawford. 54 games into the season. I'm not doing that. As far as Gage Wood, if I can do a 1-for-1 with Gage Wood and Mike Trout, yeah, I'd do that in a heartbeat, honestly. Yeah. But I don't want to put him in there, man. Marsh plays center. Trout in left. Yeah, sure. Why not? Where are you going to bat Trout in the lineup? You bat fourth, right? Yeah. I don't know. We will obviously, as we move deeper into the summer, this whole right-handed bat situation is going to hit a point where we're going to be talking about it all the time. There's names floating around out there. Interesting name that keep an eye on, though. But I don't know if it's for the Phillies, but just in general, Luis Ariz. You guys know who this guy is. He's the currently playing second base for the Giants. Giants are falling faster than anything. So a lot of these players that are on 1-year deals for the Giants, and maybe some guys that are on 2-year deals like Harrison Bader, might be in play at the trade deadline. I think Chapman might be in play at the deadline. I also believe Devers might be in play at the deadline. You're looking at teams like that and what you can possibly get from them. Now, the problem with Ariz is he's a second baseman and he bats left. He's a left-hander. So that does nothing for our right-handed situation, but he's a contact hitter, and he's an upgrade over Stott, both offensively and I think defensively. I had a chance to get him in free agency. It only cost you $12 million. I mean, that's all. He's on a 1-year deal. But if you're looking at potential right-handed bats, start looking at those teams now. Start looking at the Giants. Start looking at not the White Sox, but the Giants. Seattle is a team that's struggling right now. The Astros. There's some names there that you could possibly look at. Trout obviously is the big ticket name, right? And that would be a major story, but I don't know if that's really what the Phillies need. I really don't. Oh man, Trout not coming to Philly, that's possible. Trade Marsh back. Yeah, they 1-for-1, they would never do that because the Angels are looking to rebuild. All right. Well, let's head to the box score here. Let's remember the Phillies on the night, 3 runs. By the way, they break their little mini losing streak there. They're back in the win column, back at 500, by the way. 3 runs on 3 hits and 1 error for the Phillies today. That's god awful, man. 3 friggin' hits? 3 hits? Padres, no runs, 5 hits, and no errors. Your offensive standout for the Phillies. Let's give it to big Kyle Schwarber. You could also look at Brandon Marsh and maybe have Kyle Schwarber and Brandon Marsh fight it out over who is your offensive standout for the day. But, Schwarber did have 2 hits. He did have the home run to start it all off. He began the scoring. So I'm going to give it to Kyle Schwarber as your offensive standout. Marsh 1 for 4, but he had the big 2-run shot to kind of give the Phillies the cushion there late in the game. And that was really it. I mean, that's literally it. That's all your hits. Schwarber and Marsh were your offense tonight, literally, for the Phillies. The 3 hits combined were by them. Turner 0 for 4, average down now to 221. Harper 0 for 3. Bohm 0 for 3. He's down to 210 again. Stott 0 for 2. Garcia 0 for 3, hovering around the Mendoza line at 200. Crawford 0 for 3. He's batting 35 points higher than Garcia. And Rafael Marchand 0 for 3. He's batting 82. He's batting 82. For the San Diego Padres, even in a losing effort, you had two players that hit multiple hits from their 5 hits. Ty France and Fernando Tatis both had multiple hit games. I'm going to give it to Tatis. I'm going to give him as my Padre offensive player of the game. I've always liked him, honestly. And we're going to go ahead and give it to him. But other than that, the 2 hits by Tatis and the 2 hits by France, Miguel Andujar had a hit, and that's it. That was it. As Nick Castellanos, man, 0 for 4. 0 for 4 was Nicky Boy tonight as he got to start in right field for the Padres, batting 183. Did you guys catch the little pregame interview that the Philadelphia sports media, who had obviously had not had an opportunity to talk to Castellanos since all that went down back in spring training, finally got their chance to talk to him? And did you catch the 3 shots that he had at the Phillies? The one shot when he referenced the manager of the Padres saying that it's good to have somebody that thinks outside the box. That was a direct shot, obviously, at Rob Thompson. And then a shot at Phillies management when asked about, how you getting along with the front office here? Well, they're great because they communicate with me and they actually ask me how I'm doing and how I'm feeling. And that was a shot right at Dave Dombrowski and the organization. So Castellanos still getting in the licks over the Phillies here as we've moved way past this, but apparently he has not, as he should be focused more on trying to keep his job in San Diego than lamenting over the Phillies. But I thought that was very interesting that he did not waste the opportunity to take a shot, multiple shots at the Philly organization going out the door, and that was pretty fun. I enjoyed that. Pitching wise, of course, Jesus Luzardo is your man of the hour, but let's not stop, and let's also give credit to where the bullpen came in. Kerkering, an inning of clean work. Keller, an inning of clean work, and then Duran with the lockdown save, his 100th of his career, his 10th of the year for the Phillies, as they got immaculate pitching efforts today from the entire staff. Canning for the Padres went 6.5, 3 hits, 3 runs. They were earned, 3 walks, 5 strikeouts, and 2 home runs. He gets the loss. Estrada and Matsui also pitched for the Padres in a losing effort. Scoring summary, hang on, pay attention, because this is going to take about 2 seconds. First inning, Kyle Schwarber with the solo shot to make it 1-0, and then in the 7th, Brandon Marsh, the 2-run jack to make it 3-0, and that's all your scoring for the game. The Phillies were 1 for 2 with runners in scoring position. They left 2 on base. The Padres were 0 for 10 with runners in scoring position, as they ended up having people on base, but just couldn't get that big hit. 0 for 10, man. That's Phillies numbers right there. They left a total of 8 on base, thankfully to the great clutch pitching of your fighting Phillies. And there you go, 3-0. Phillies with the win. Phillies are 2.5 games out of a wild card. Hard to believe. Don't talk to me about the standings until about what? All-Star break time frame. But yeah, it is hard to believe. But there's like 9 teams ahead of them. There's like 9 teams ahead of them. I think the Phillies sweep the Padres. Joe Hale. Oh, Joe. Whoa. No. Joe, you're gonna. All right, Joe. I'm not going to do it to you tonight. I'm not going to play you the Homer anthem. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay away from it. Joe, come on, man. Do you not know who's pitching tomorrow? Come on, Joe. Have you not looked at the paper? Do you know who's going tomorrow? We'll talk about that in a second. And then Star Wars kind of lets it out of the bag. Yeah, Aaron Nola's pitching tomorrow, Joe. So we'll see. I believe Tatis Jr. still has 0 home runs. That's why I get why you like him. I love Tatis. I love his style of baseball. I really do. I really, really do. Nola will give Tatis Jr. My thoughts exactly. All right. Let's go. Let's do our Broad Street bottom line. The Broad Street Bottom Line tonight on the Fighting's Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network, brought to you by the great folks here at the network that create such programming as this one right here. It's the Happy Valley Huddle, folks. It's the Penn State postgame show. Well, it's going to be bigger than that this year. It's going to be a pre- and postgame show. Mike Laro is going to kind of adapt the way we do it on the Birds Blast. He's going to come on like on Thursday. He's going to talk about the game that was and that the game that will be that coming weekend. So, make sure you're settled in, as football is right around the corner, man. I smell it in the air a little bit. It's starting to creep in as we're getting closer and closer to football season. We still got a little bit of still got to get through June, but after we get through June, it's all systems go for football. But Happy Valley Huddle will be back for season 2 here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. So make sure that you're standing by and staying tuned. My Broad Street Bottom Line, twofold. Fold 1, 4 quality starting effort by a starting pitcher. I cannot underestimate or undervalue that. You've heard it come out of my mouth many times before when it comes to this team, and it's a lost stat. It's a lost way of looking at the Phillies over the past 4 years. If you take out the pitching from this team over the last 4 years, we're not talking postseason for 4 straight years. We're not talking about that. It has been a major strength of this ball club. In this little regime or run that we've been on, has been the starting pitching. And we've seen it this year. When the starting pitching has gone away, we're not even competitive. We're not even freaking competitive. Now, I don't know how that makes you feel that we can't absorb. I mean, we absorbed it the other night in Pittsburgh, right? Nola gave up 6 runs in the first inning, wherever it was, and they came back and won. But for the most part, this team really can't absorb a bad starting pitching effort. They need to have good starting pitching in order to put them in a position to win. And that's indicative of a lot of teams, but I think for the Phillies, it's a mantra. They really need to have good starting pitching because this team does not strike fear in my heart or strike fear in the heart of their opponents when it comes to trying to battle back from a deficit. They're just not built that way. Of course they're not. They must be either tied or in the lead, by a run or so, and to have some pitching backing them up. And tonight you got the 4th straight good, solid starting pitching effort by the Phillies pitching staff tonight. And it cannot be undervalued. It cannot be understated how much important it is that this team continues to get the starting pitching, because I don't know what's going on with the offense. I don't know if the offense will ever be different than what they are. I don't think they will. And this is what you're just left with. But you're just going to have to hope for every night you get an effort like you got from Luzardo. And then tomorrow, if you can get anything positive from Nola, hopefully that helps. But it cannot be undervalued how much or how important the starting pitching has been for this team over the past 4 years. And tonight, again, it was on display. Now, my second point, something needs to change with the offense. And I know it's something it doesn't take Sherlock Holmes or Columbo or anyone else to figure out what's wrong. We know what's wrong. Misshaped, misassembled, too many of the same type of players, and the others that are not that type of player are constantly wanting to be that. It's not a matter of identifying the problem. We know what the problem is. The question now is, what are we going to do about the problem, and why are we still talking about the same problem 4 years, for 4 years? Because again, we already know how this, and that's what I guess also was what frustrating for me. We already know how this story is going to end, right? We already know how this is going to wrap up. We can probably with about 95%, confidence say how this season is going to end with this offense. And I guess that's probably what's the most frustrating about it for me. And we're gonna constantly talk about it. We're gonna constantly bring it up, and nothing is going to be done about it. Someone needs to be held accountable for this offense at this point. I mean, beyond held accountable, but great starting pitching and an offense that continues to frustrate me. And a win. We won. That's my Broad Street Bottom Line. That is my Broad Street Bottom Line. All right, let's go around the bases. All right, let's go around the bases on this Monday night, Memorial Day, here in 2026. Let's talk about the games that are complete. It was 8-2 Marlins over the Jays, 9-0 the Astros over the Rangers. It was 10-2 Nationals all over the Guardians. It was so they're home, huh? Maybe I'll go to a game tomorrow. It was 6-2 Diamondbacks over the Giants, 7-2 Reds over the Mets. It was 4-3 Yankees over the Royals, 5-1 Brewers better than the Cardinals. White Sox continue to win. They're now one game above 500, 3-1 over the Twins. Final in 13 innings, it was 9-7 Orioles over the Rays. 2-1 Pirates beat the Cubs. Games that are still ongoing right now. They are on the top of the fifth out in Los Angeles. It's 2-1 Rockies over the Dodgers. In Sacramento, it's 4-0 or 6-0 Mariners over the A's. And there you go. That's it. That is your scores around Major League Baseball. Tomorrow, the Phillies will get right back at this 9:40 local time start. One of them good old-fashioned late night West Coast games. Aaron Nola will be pitching against, well, it says Griffin Canning here, but hang on, let me see something. That can't be. I don't think they're going back to Griffin Canning tomorrow. That would be interesting if they did, but that's who the Padres have listed as their starter. I don't think that's going to be him because he pitched tonight. So we'll see who the Padres throw out there. But it'll be Aaron Nola, which, hold on to your hat, folks. We'll see what we can do about that. 3-0 Phillies with the win. Impressive win. Impressive win from the pitching standpoint, and that's it. Tired of this damn home run offense. But they won. Character win, flying across the country. I'm pulling something out of Al's pocket here. All the human factor and all this. But this was a big win for them. They needed it. They needed it big time. And then it's a good way to get this 6-game road trip off and rolling in the right direction. Remember, tomorrow night, let's look at the Fighting's final schedule. Here you go. Tomorrow's be Big Al. Will be taking you through the late night hours. And then on Wednesday, Mike will come at you. And then we'll take a day off. And then we'll get ready for the Dodgers on Friday. But keep on watching. And we'll see you guys tomorrow night on the Fighting's final. I will not see you guys again until Thursday night, as I will be back for the final word. So until then, got to hear from one more person, man. I got to win finally as a host. It's been a minute since I've won on the show. So let's hear from my main man, Harry the K. Yeah, what you got?